Hello, this is Elaine again, and I want to talk to you some more about the credit system to explain it a little more fully. And what I want to talk to you right now about is to demonstrate the success of the credit system on our country during the times that we had people in leadership. We had presidents who understood the credit system and understood the value of it and implemented these principles that our founding fathers um, embedded in our country. I want to start out with talking about Abraham Lincoln and talking about the Civil War and how a 4-year war had really caused a lot of havoc to our nation. And it had we had literally had a situation of being torn apart, and there was a huge number of people who were killed and maimed, and a lot of destruction to the land. And you would think that the nation would be crippled for a long time after this. And this is what the British had intended, because they fomented the Civil War, and they they supplied the South with supplies, hoping that the South would win. There were a lot of people living in the South that had loyalty to the British Empire still, and so it was their intention to break our country down through this war, and then they would come in and take over and bring us back into under their control. But their plan didn't pan out. We won the North won the Civil War. Abraham Lincoln did, and at the end of this war, after our nation had been devastated, Abraham Lincoln implemented the principles that our founding fathers had adopted, like Alexander Hamilton, the credit system that he established. Abraham Lincoln used these principles with his greenback system. And we came out of the war with an economic development that the world had never seen. Within 10 years of the war, America was the leading power in the world because of Lincoln's foresight in developing the unity and industry of the nation. He developed the Transcontinental Railroad and other development projects. The rest of the world stood in amazement at the industrial progress that America had made. And they established America was established as recognized as actually the strongest nation in the world. Soon after this, Henry Carey organized a fair, a worldwide fair, where he put on display the accomplishments of what America had accomplished. He and people from all across the world, scientists and diplomats and heads of state, came from all across the world to see what Henry Carey had organized to show to the world what this fledgling nation could accomplish. And through the system, the American system that was established by Alexander Hamilton. So people came from all over the world, and they were inspired by what they saw. And many of these heads of state went back home, and they followed the example of the Americans. and they um, decided to implement some of the things that they saw America implementing. China implemented, um, began plans to build up their infrastructure. Russia built a railroad system, and there were many plans that and many developments in the infrastructure throughout the world. When the British Empire saw these developments, they didn't like what they saw because they realized that that their dominance in the world was going to be put in jeopardy by the success of the American system, and what the nations throughout the world were able to accomplish through um, copying basically what they saw the Americans doing. The Americans implemented a tariff system which protected the, the young nation from the ravages of the British system of free trade. And Henry Carey considered that the free trade system was he equated it with a system of slavery that put people in slavery, and that he said that it destroyed countries and destroyed progress and destroyed industry, and that nations couldn't develop under a free trade system. So what the American system that was established by Alexander Hamilton was demonstrated to be very successful and very impressive throughout the world. And they reached out to the people throughout the world, leaders throughout the world, to help them. And our scientists went across and visited other countries to help them with their infrastructure and their development of their countries too. And when the British Empire saw this going on, they fomented this 7-year war. They had first schemed to get Bismarck out of office and replaced by one of their stooges, and then they got the 7-year war started. And then after that was over, then um, the the World War One, they started the World War One, and so they did this to destroy the nations of the world from creating wealth through the American system. They have regarded the American system as being a threat, one of the biggest threats to their empire in the world. When they saw that they couldn't take America, recapture America, or take over America militarily, they decided to do it from within. And so they deployed their stooges within our country to implement their policies, and they managed to get their bank established, which is the Federal Reserve, and they also have their Wall Street established, which they used to bring America under the control of their monetary system again, and we have been under their control ever since. Andrew Jackson's actions of taking down the National Bank was very instrumental in the takeover of our country, of a foreign power, and through the monetary system. And so in order to regain our power back, our sovereignty back, we need to get out from under the control of this British system, this British monetary system. We need to regain our sovereignty. In order to do that, we need to bring Wall Street down, and we need to get um, our national bank established again, and um, to once again get under the system of the American credit system, whereby our focus is on development, developing infrastructure, developing projects that are benefit our country. So I want to close, to end with a speech that Bismarck made to Germany about his in the way he was inspired by the success of the American system. This is what he said. The success of the United States in the material development is the most illustrative of modern time. The American nation has not only borne and suppressed the most powerful nation in the most gigantic, expansive war in all history, but immediately afterward disbanded its army, provided employment for its soldiers and marines, paid off most of its debt, gave labor and homes to all of the unemployed of Europe as fast as they could arrive within its territory. It is my view that the prosperity of America is mainly due to its protective laws. I urge Germany has reached the point that it is now necessary to imitate the tariff system of the United States. Under this policy, just as has happened in the United States, Germany also emerged as a major power in the world. So, but Germany not only was impressed by the tariff, but they were also impressed by the developments that we had made in our country, and they copied this aspect of the American system as well. So this is what we need to get back into. We need to get the American people to realize what it really means to be an American, that they once again come to an understanding of these principles, of the differences between the American system and the monetary system of the British Empire. This is the only way that we're going to be able to gain our sovereignty back from the British Empire.